All right, guys. Well, welcome to the first call of 2017. I have been fired up this whole week. Nicole and I just need to say from the bottom of our hearts, we are so freaking proud of all of you guys and how we ended 2016. I said on my live call today when I went live in the team page that doesn't matter how what goals you did or did not hit in 2016. I'm still so proud of how we ended. And I'm so freaking excited for 2017. Our team is already killing it. Like almost every single person in our team has a success club point right now. Like that's never happened before. A true statement to how excited we're all doing. So I'm just really proud of you guys. So to kick everything off, it is Tuesday, January 3rd, 2017. We've got Passion Fit Dynasty and Firefly Nation present here tonight. The first topic of the new year is going to be on time management tonight. So Nicole and I are going to kind of share some tips of the trade, some of our best practices. Time management is personally probably one of my biggest weaknesses. It is something I'm always trying to be better at. I have some days when I'm better than others, but that's where at this point, I've learned systems that work, and I know when I'm not using them is when I'm failing, basically. So, and we're gonna share and reference some other great resources and tools. In fact, Nicole and I will share probably one of the best, in my opinion, Beachbody videos on time management. I think by far. I may have already shared it in the team page, but I'm going to reshare it because it's that good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, first of all, let's talk about time management. We are all, I think what's really cool about our team is all of us are full-time workers, right? So we're no stranger to crazy time management and a lot of things going on in life, right? So coaching really is kind of like an add-on to a lot of our lives here, right? Coaching should not be your number one priority. You know, a lot of us have families and dogs and friends and all these other things going on. So when you said yes to being a coach, you had a lot of goals and a lot of reasons behind it, but you also realized, okay, well now I have to fit this in, and as a new coach, and as someone who's still been doing this a year and a half later, I know how much of a struggle that is. I think all of us did not do a power hour every single day over the holidays. That's 100% sure. But becoming a coach means that you are now making sacrifices in order to not just do your health and fitness, but to help others do that too. And that means actually making time to do the business activities. So I want to share a little bit of tips. I keep wanting to say tools of the trade. I think that's what I keep trying to say. And then I'll pass it off to Nicole to share some of her tools of the trade. And then we'll kind of talk about some other just big, great tips. So for me personally, I know I get super distracted by the Facebook notifications, whether it's on my phone or if I'm sitting here on my laptop, even if my phone's down. I get so, if that red, I have to get rid of that red because my eye just goes to the red. That's part of my issue. I have to get rid of all notifications in my phone. I don't care if it's just on Facebook. I just have to get rid of the red. And that's probably something I need to continue working on. Then I'm better at it than other times. But something that I do, it's harder when I'm working on my laptop, when I'm actually in my power hour and I'm actually doing my messages and I am being good, because it's hard to just all you can do is ignore it. But one thing I do, at least with my phone, something that I can do a little bit more, is I'll put my phone on airplane mode. I'll put my phone on airplane mode, so that means I can't, and I obviously I have the volume off of my phone almost all the time anyways, so I don't get a dinger. But I put my phone on airplane mode so that way I can't receive any notifications and I can't get distracted by any incoming messages, whether that's from Facebook, other apps, text messages, calls, whatever. So that's something that really helps me when I'm doing my power hour. Another thing that I do is and it kind of goes a little bit more with organization, but I'm going to tell you about why it's important for time management, is that I'm a pen and paper girl, and I kind of like a lot of our team is too. So I kind of want to share this because it probably wasn't until right before and right after the wedding that I finally adopted a note-taking system. I never really had any kind of power hour system. I never really kind of had a list that I worked from. I'd be like, okay, yeah, I got to send invites and messages and friend requests, but I wasn't tracking it, nor was I tracking my messages. This does not need to be your system, but I can tell you, you need some kind of tracking system in order to keep track of what's going on in your power hour. But why I'm talking about that is because if you don't have any kind of, doesn't have to be written, maybe you're an Excel person, maybe you're a Google Docs person, but you need to have some kind of system that works for you, because otherwise you're going to feel scattered, and once you're scattered, that's how your time just evaporates. So for me personally, once I started writing from a list and checking it off, that's when I became more organized, and that's when it enabled me not feel as stressed of like, okay, what do I do next? I can share. Share in our team page what my actual list looks like if you want tips on that, tips on how to organize yourself. But pretty much, I mean, Nicole and I have run a live power hours with you guys before, and that's a structure that I still use today. And that kind of goes into how I use timers. Timers in running the power hour. And that's kind of where I talked about I'll put my phone on airplane mode. You can still access timers from there. And that enables me to just kind of click through and go through each of the sections. And I don't know about you, Nicole, but sometimes, I mean, there's a lot of times in November and December that I could actually get a full power hour done with everything I needed to do on my to-do list in under an hour. And that's because I had to kick myself in the butt and say, hey, you just need to sit there and focus and not let other distractions come in, or not let your mental to-do list of everything else come before it. And that's easier said than done. And I think that's kind of where, personal development comes in. But that's a little bit of some of my best practices. So I want to kind of toss it back over to you, Nicole.
Yeah, I'm realizing how much this light's washing me out, so sorry if I look like Casper.
That's okay.
I was jotting down a few things while you were talking because I was thinking about this. So I was part of a group a while back where some of the top coaches shared a bunch of their resources. So I'm going to dig up one that I've actually been needing to download for myself for tracking, and I'll share it with you guys. But I don't know how many of you follow Bonnie Engel, but she's like superstar diamond coach. She's like crazy successful and does a really good job at posting relatable content. But she has a tracking sheet, and she literally will write someone's name down, and it's kind of like a printed Excel sheet, but she writes someone's name down and then has columns where she'll say on X date I talked to them about 21 Day Fix and Shakeology, and then she'll have that date there with what they were talking about, so that a week from then she knows who to follow up with for what. And if someone says, no, not right now, she has that tracked so that in 6 months she can reach back out, or however long. And she said that that is how she always hits Success Club, because she has this constant list of people that said yes. She'll highlight them to get them off the list. Mm-hmm. But then she has this constant list of people in her pipeline who are either ready and she's talking to them, or aren't ready right now but eventually will be. So just because they're a no right now doesn't mean they'll always be a no. So I'll dig that up, and I'll try to do that this week so we can all start using it.
I was going to say, I want that right now.
Yeah, I had saved it down somewhere, so it'll be easy for me to pull back. And then, so a couple of other things. I do have some content to share from a workshop that I went to regarding time management, but a couple of things that I wanted to share with you guys that I do is, and I know Claire does this too, at least I think so, is I set business hours. Like, time management is super important to me, and we all have a lot going on. And usually most days I don't get home from work until 5:30, and I want to spend time with my husband. Sometimes I have dinner plans. So I set business hours and I stick to them. So I, for the most part, will be checking in the challenge group twice a day. So those are kind of variable, but usually once in the morning and once at night. Otherwise, my business hours are like before 7 a.m. And if I get messages or notifications throughout the day on Facebook, usually I'm not responding or commenting back until that next morning. And perhaps that's going to frustrate some people and they want an answer right now. But if that's the case, I really don't want to work with you anyway if you don't have patience enough for me to wait 24 hours to chat again. I want people to respect my time as much as I respect theirs. So I really try to stick to that. So far, so good. I've had one person kind of get upset with me about that, and they ended up buying the 21-day fix on Amazon. But honestly, adios. And then the other thing that I really try to follow that is helpful for me is whatever I'm doing, I'm in it 100%. Like, when it pertains to time management, like, I haven't always been that way, but as of the past like 2 weeks, I really started to adopt that. And it's been working out really well for me. So I'm in this team call right now. I'm not checking my phone. I'm not listening to what's going on downstairs. Like, I'm in this team call because this is where I'm at. I budgeted this time for this call. This morning I did my power hour and my workout. I budgeted that time. And that's what I dedicated myself to. I didn't wake up and like check my email or do all of that other stuff because that was my power hour and I needed to follow that. So whatever you're doing, whether it be your business or your workout or hanging out with your husband or your boyfriend or your friends, be in that 100%. And so another thing that I want to share with you guys, so I don't know if you've heard of the book, and I'm going to glance down at my notes because I want to make sure I get some of these points right. So what the most successful people do before breakfast. It's by Laura Vanderkamp. She spoke at the Massachusetts Conference for Women that I went to last month, and she talked a lot about what we do with our time is a function of how we spend our hours. And it really hit home for me when she was talking because she was like, how many times do you talk to someone and they're like, I just don't have enough, there's not enough hours in the day. I don't have enough time. Well, how come you don't have enough time, but everyone else has enough time? And she broke it down to say, how are you spending your time? There's 168 hours in the week. You spend approximately, give or take, 40 of those working and 8 of those hours per night sleeping for a total of 56 hours. That leaves you with a total of 72 hours to do other things. I mean, that's a shitload of hours. Like, I know some people have kids, and I know we have to go grocery shopping, and I know we need to do, chores and things like that, and laundry and all of those things. But 72 hours, that's freaking, 3 whole days? Like, that's a lot of time that we're not sleeping or working. So we need to think a lot about what are the things we have to do versus what are the things we want to do, and what are the things we need to do to move ourselves forward in any aspect of our life. And she really focused on how to be successful, which I think is a topic for another call, but really breaking it down into those buckets and trying to focus on what's going to propel you forward. Sure, I like The Bachelor just as much as everybody else, but if I'm being honest with you, I usually have like 6 episodes on the DVR, and I put it on when I'm multitasking. Cleaning the kitchen, I have The Bachelor on in the background. Like, it's just not going to move me forward in any aspect of my life. So I have it on because it's a guilty pleasure, but I'm not going to sit down and waste however many 6 episodes, 12 hours or something at a time. So think about that. And I'm certainly not shitting on anyone who sits down and watches TV for 2 hours a day or a week or whatever. That's your prerogative, and I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but for me, that's where my time was being wasted. So thinking about that stuff, and then thinking about something that you really think is a sacrifice, and thinking about how that's going to propel you. And she said, sometimes what you think is a sacrifice turns out to be the best thing that you ever could have done. So think about that. I think we all do that stuff. I mean, for Christ's sake, we sacrificed Thanksgiving dinner. Like, that was the best thing we could have done. Look at our results. I mean, yeah, it was only a day, but it was a kick-ass, like, 30-day results photo. So I think we need to make sure that we're thinking about our time in that way. And she really drilled that home for me that day. The last thing that I will share, when it comes to time management, she said, if something's not working and you're feeling overwhelmed, do something else. Don't try to perfect it in that moment. Just try something else. Scratch it off and move on. The more time we waste trying to fix the process that we're doing is success lost. So just start from scratch. Start over.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not perfect by any means when it comes to time management, but I'm slowly like learning and listening to personal development and listening to what my peers are doing at work and listening to what top coaches are doing and trying to get myself in that same mindset. And honestly, guys, it's literally just have to repeat what everyone else is doing. So those are my tips, begged, borrowed, and stole from some people, but otherwise, what I'm doing.
You know what I forgot to mention? I'm surprised, Nicole, you and I both completely forgot to mention this, was Eat That Frog is another phenomenal book on Audible. It's actually it's probably a quick read. I've listened to it on Audible at least twice. I think I just started a third time recently. It's a really quick listen. It's probably only like 2.5 hours on Audible. It's not very long. His voices are kind of soft, so sometimes not that I can drain him out, but he basically said, I mean, the reason why I'm bringing this into time management, because he does talk about the importance of being organized, and he pretty much does talk about time management, but he talks about eating that frog first, doing the hardest, scariest thing first, and not delaying it. And I kind of forgot that one thing that would delay me in my power hours, that would scare me the most, were responding to messages and sending invites. And now those are the first two things that I do most often, or at least invites are in the top 3. You know, I make sure that I don't put it off, because usually I would put invites at the last. So I finally got in a place where I was like, okay, I will respond to all of my. I like, for me personally, and I think to be fair, I think a lot of coaches are like this too. I have to clear out my inbox first in order to do any of my other messages, because everything else will get lost. Mm-hmm. But then it was easy for me to delay any invites from there. But Eat That Frog is doing the hardest, scariest thing first, because I don't know if you're anything like me, but like I literally, that one thing could make me delay and push off my entire power hour, like completely.
Yeah.
So a phenomenal book. It's kind of really, he's got a lot of great systems in that book too. Honestly, that's probably why I started re-listening to it last month. So yeah, no, I think that's a really good one. And then there was another point I had to make with what you were saying there too, Nicole, which was kind of like how you talked about, if something's not working for you, like do something else. And I was kind of thinking like walk away, like take a break. You know, I think, especially women, I think it's easy for us to think that we have to keep going. We got to go. We got to do. I'm guilty of this probably every day. But you'll be amazed if you just give yourself, like, what I do sometimes, and I probably have more time for this on the weekends, but I'll give myself, and I'll sometimes even set a timer, 5 minutes, like, okay, go on Facebook. Okay, check your notifications. Like, give yourself that mental break, because then you'll be able to focus better when you actually do need to put your timer back on and actually do get the work done. And the other thing I kind of wanted to pony back on with you too was the part about setting business hours, because I think I'd always had set them, but it probably wasn't until I came back from the wedding and Nicole and I really started jumping in the trenches and working together when I was like, nope, this is not an option anymore. Like, I am running this business at this time every day, and if I don't do it, then I fail. And you don't have to tell yourself that, but that's kind of how I need to tell myself, was that I'm the only person pushing this train, and the results I get are from the work that I do or don't do. So I can't cry over, what's that saying? It's like, you can't, cry over the results you didn't get from the work you didn't do.
Yes.
We're all, I don't know about you guys, I think all of our brains, like at work, it was a mess. None of us could focus or anything like that. Speaking of time management.
I think too, so one thing, I mean, if you're truly, and I just realized this 6 months ago, if you're truly sending the invites and the follow-ups and the new forums and all of that stuff that you should be doing during your power hour, there's no freaking way you can constantly be responding, because you'll spend your entire day doing it. Mm-hmm. Like, every time you see a new notification in your little messages on Facebook, like, you'll drive yourself crazy responding to people, and then people are going to get pissed off if they're used to receiving immediate responses, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I can't handle it, I'm all done. They're going to be like, well, what the hell? You were responding to me right away, and now I'm not hearing from you. I'm going to work with somebody else. So just try to be mindful of, like, who you are when you're thinking about how you're spending your time, and what's going to provide you the most value. I think I try to be respectful of people's time too. Like, I'm sure they have other shit going on that they don't need me to be messaging them constantly to respond to them right away. Like, they've got families, they've got real jobs, like, they have stuff to do.
Yeah, and I think that's a really good point. Something I know that I've talked to my team about too. Just that same point about, like, if someone messaged you in the middle of your power hour, let's just say you are sending your check-ins and you've already responded to your inbox, but you're sending in your check-ins or you're doing friend requests. Like, I don't respond to anybody during a power hour, even if I just sent the message and they responded right then. I don't respond. Yeah. And it makes me feel and sound like a bee, but just like Nicole said, like, I set a time to do something, unless there are rare cases when they're like, I'm ready to sign up, and I'm like, skirt, okay, let me do that real quick. But other than, like, honestly signing somebody up because they're, like, ready to go right then and there, I do not respond to them. And frankly, and again, I don't really respond to messages during work unless I get, like, to be fair, I think Nicole and I, we had a pretty awesome month in December. So other than good, if I get a message that they're, like, really interested and they want to know more, and they're ready to sign up during the day while I'm at work, I don't respond, because I'd much rather be like, okay, well, the message that I'm getting, think about this. If you did your power hour 6, 7 a.m. and someone's responding to you between 11 and 3, think about it. They took their time to get back to you. You can take your time to get back to them. It's fine. I mean, don't get me wrong, I feel guilty when they responded between 7 and 9 a.m. I did my power hour at 6 or 7, but you need to set boundaries for yourself too. And just like Nicole said, if you are putting the pressure on yourself to respond to them right away, you're not putting boundaries on yourself. And this not only goes for the power hour that we do, but this goes for our challengers, and making sure you're giving yourself boundaries with your challengers, and honestly giving boundaries with your team. I know that we're a smaller team at the time. I'm not referencing anyone on this call or anyone on this team, frankly, at all. But, as your teams will grow one day. It's important to set boundaries, because you're probably going to have challenges. You're going to have thousands of millions of questions, and you want to help them and stuff like that. And the same thing goes for potential people too. So your boundaries are important. You need your life, you need your sanity, and just kind of like what Nicole said. And honestly, it was kind of a wake-up call to me too. Used to saying, because remember, that was one of the goals that we set for 2017, was to be present. And I'm realizing, like, wow, I'm already failing at that. But being present is part of time management. You have to be present, you have to focus, and you have to really throw yourself into it in order to get it done. And it's easier said than done.
I think one other thing that I was just thinking about, and I think that we're all probably guilty of this to some degree, unless you are just like a rock star and just born with this natural ability to formulate Facebook posts, but try to be mindful of the number of minutes and hours you're spending on crafting your Facebook post. Because honestly, like, there were times where I would, like, reread and then delete and then reread it and delete, and it would be like 40 minutes would go by before I post the damn thing. No one is even going to care what words I'm saying. First of all, they're probably more focused on the picture. make sure your picture quality is good. But otherwise, like, just throw it out there. You're going to learn from it. Fall on your face a little bit, fail forward, learn from it, and craft your messages every single day in that same fashion. And eventually you're just going to get better at it.
Mm-hmm.
I think I look at, the Liz Hartkeys of the world, and I'm like, wow, damn, I still have a long way to go. But I'm not willing to sacrifice a half an hour every single day to craft a post.
Right.
My time can be better spent helping people start their journeys than crafting that post, because that's not getting people to respond. My messages to them are.
Yeah.
So try to be mindful of that. That took me literally a year and a half to figure that out, because I used to literally sit on the couch every single night for 40 minutes crafting my night post, and it was terrible. That's awful to admit.
Mm-hmm. And I think, honestly, Nicole, I think we all still have moments like that. There are definitely times when, as a new coach, that I would be like, oh my God, what am I going to do? Because personally, I would love to be the coach one day that would have a week's worth of content that I would have scheduled out, and I'd be able to just pull and grab and post it. But I'm not at that place in my life yet. But two, I'm very much I write better in the moment, and things flow better in the moment for me. So I can speak from the heart a little bit better that way, but that can take longer. But one thing, when I first started as a new coach and I was freaking out about time management, as you guys all know, when I was still full-time in grad school and doing all this stuff, and I was losing my mind, and my coach said to me, okay, Claire, well, this is what you need to do. The night before, she's like, I take no more than 5-10 minutes, literally no more than 5 to 10 minutes. She's like, set a timer if you have to. And while you're in bed, before before it's lights out or whatever, and still give yourself time with, if you have a roommate, a dog, or a husband in bed with you. But in this case, husband, she's like, give yourself 5 to 10 minutes, write out your morning posts. And that way, when you wake up, copy paste, and it's done. And I'll tell you, I have gotten out of that. I need to get back into that, because that was something that when I actually looked forward to that. I was like, whoo, when I get up, I just have to work out, shower, and then I'm done. Well, power hour. But, that's one less thing you have to do, because you're right, Nicole, there's mornings where it can still take me 30 minutes, maybe even 45. Not because I'm necessarily rereading and deleting, but I'm trying to think of the right content.
Yeah.
And that's definitely part of the issue. So I don't know if that tip helps anybody, but sometimes when I'm at work, or don't pay attention to this part, or I'm driving, I don't type it out while I'm driving, but sometimes I'll have things that just come to me, ideas that come to me, and I'll talk to text it into my phone, into the notes section of either the topic or a post idea. And that's how I've been able to throw up some of my posts that way. Maybe not necessarily for that day, but that's how. So I'm trying to be better about, when I think of something, to write it down or talk to text it into my notes right away. So there's some other kind of little tips there I have for you.
Yeah, I think the only other time management thing I would say, as it pertains to running our coach businesses, is use resources that are already created, rather than trying to create your own. Recently, I stumbled across, and I think it kind of goes on your personality, but I stumbled across a welcome discount coach email, and it kind of broke things out really nicely. So I had been thinking for a long time, it was a daunting task. I'm like, I need to welcome my discount coaches and let them know everything that they need to know without overwhelming them. But I'd like to put together an email, and I was like, I just don't know where to start. So I found one, and I tailored it to myself and how I speak, rather than whomever wrote it speaks. And just reuse that stuff. Make it your own, but don't create it from scratch, because that's going to take you a hell of a lot longer than just going through and changing a few words in graphics. I guess just try to think of that. And when you guys do branch off and run your own challenge groups, which is totally going to be you're going to be so successful. I just know it based on your interactions and ours. Look for scripts, Google them, use the ones that Claire and I have created. We don't care. Don't recreate the wheel. If it's going to save you time, just copy and paste our stuff. Change a few words, add your own pictures. I don't think anyone would ever judge anyone for that.
No, absolutely. Nicole and I are constantly looking for content, constantly looking for tips and tools. You guys don't know this. Nicole and I have a secret page for the two of us. The reason I'm spilling that is because we share stuff back and forth with each other all the time. Files, videos, personal development. Oh my God, this invite message that I just used the other day was really awesome. Or, oh my God, Nicole, just share with me all of your scripts that you have for everything. And lean on each other too for support like that too. You guys can always come to us if you need any support and resources. Yeah, like I guess that's another thing that I kind of went through time management too. Scripts have made my life a lot easier. Like there's no way I could get through a power hour if I had to handcraft every single follow-up or check-in or invite. Like there's just no way. I mean, I change them month to month or even every couple weeks. Like my message that I'm sending, like I'm not going to send my, hey girl, like Happy New Year's. I'm not really going to send that like the last week in January, but I can probably recycle that for the next 3 weeks. And then I'll change it up a little bit towards the end. So I kind of have the same almost format for some of my my check-in and follow-up message. But just today I was kind of like, so almost at the beginning of every month, I kind of try to reformat some of these messages, scripts, so I can kind of recycle them and use them and just make it, that's how I make my power hour easy. And that's how I make those things just readily available.
Yeah, super helpful.
Yeah.
Were there any questions that you guys have on time management, like anything that trips you up?
Yeah, let me unmute you guys.
No, I'm bad at procrastinating in general. It's an everyday work in progress.
I feel you.
I know.
I do a mentoring thing, and like the kid, it's like an online thing, and the kid was talking about procrastinating today. I was like, oh, kid, I feel you. That's not going to change.
Yeah. Well, and I think this week is hard too, not to kind of validate or endorse a lot of our excuses, but we're all kind of feeling a little sluggish coming back from the holidays. Trying to get back into our own routines. I think everyone's trying to get back into their own routine too. I'm adjusting to my own new routine, like I was telling Nicole about. So, I still haven't completely finished my power hour, which I should have done by this morning, or even when I got home at work at 3 o'clock. But sometimes it's just finding your footing and finding what works for you and going from there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How's everything going with you, Loretta? I know you're back to school this week.
Yeah, today was hard, but I think just waking up and so I today just like the 3-day cleanse, I have to work my way into the 3-day refresh. It's just, I'm not good at it. So I started my 30 days today, but I'm going to continue it so once you guys start on Monday, I'm just going to basically add a week on. So I finish also with you.
Oh yeah, with the health bet. Yeah.
Yeah. So so that was I know it's only day 1, but I'm sticking to it, and I've already gotten invites to stuff where drinking or temptations will be there. So I just need to do it. But I also got a new planner, so that's
that looks so good.
Can you do mine? Oh, wait, which one is that?
This is the
Happy Planner.
It looks like the happy.
The Happy Planner.
That's what I have too.
So that's already helping. I have all the meals planned out, and it's nice that I get lunch at school and I'm still able to do the meals. I just bring my containers with me. And I look weird filling them up in front of my students, but I'm sure it's I'm willing to take.
Yeah, it's sacrifice, right?
So that's already helped, and I'm just being good about not answering at all hours of the day. Because even though I've had trouble hitting Success Club, I still would do that. So I need to I've set my times, and yeah, so I already have my list of invites and.
Yay! That's great. Well, I know how well you do when you set your systems, and And I agree. I think just giving yourself those boundaries, because I know how busy you are at school, to just be there, be present, do what you need to do there. And that way you'll have more energy to put into the car when you do have that scheduled.
Yeah.
Well, great, ladies. Well, I'm just so proud of you guys. It's going to be a great, fabulous month. Nicole, you're going to Super Saturday on Saturday, right?
I am. I'm actually not going to do the workout, though, I decided, because Super Saturday for me, I'm going to the Boston one, and it's almost 2 hours away. And it starts at 8 a.m. So I'm going to go at 9 after the workout and sit through the content part.
Yeah. So wait, is your workout at the beginning?
Yeah, it's from 8 to 9.
Oh, okay. The ones in Baltimore and DC, they usually do those last.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, I was like, I have lunch plans in Boston afterwards, and I was like, I'm not going to go be sweaty through the whole session and then go to lunch sweaty. Like, that's just gross. So I'll just skip the workout. That's
what I did last time, because I met up with Rachel Khalil, and she had her knee brace. It was just the two of us getting lunch, and I was like, no, I'll skip it so I can eat lunch with you. I'd rather do that. So. Are you guys all going? Yeah, this is going to be a huge turnout. Wait, Caroline, will you say something?
Oh, I don't think I can go. I'm doing like birthday stuff with my family during the day.
We'll get you at the next one.
Yeah, no, I definitely will.
Yeah, don't worry. We should like space Bob like the rest of our team in, like get you and Meredith and
face in the sun and just put me up there.
Yes, exactly, and like Christine and everybody. No, but a lot of Rachel's team is coming, who I've met. Loretta, you'll get to meet all of them for the first time, so I'm really excited for you and Julie. I mean, there's like at least, I think, a dozen of us from like Rachel's team, including Loretta, Julie, and I. So
awesome.
It's gonna be like really fun. Like I've never been to an event with that much of our team or network represented. So, and we're all going out to lunch afterwards. And you have Joel. And we have Joel! Oh!
Please take pictures.
Oh my God. I'm like cleansing it out. I'm like, I will not cheat on this cleanse. I promise you. I promise you, Joel. All right. Well, I know we're about to get cut off, but proud of you ladies for working so hard and starting this year off strong. We're going to make this challenge group killer. And I might not be leading the team call next week, but Nicole will be here. Okay.
Bye, guys.
All right. Bye. Have a great night.